мною принято решение о проведении специальной военной операции.
I'm authorizing additional strong sanctions.
Severe sanctions.
The strongest package of sanctions.
A bloodless coup, a rigged fire sale of state treasures, a frenzied scramble for control unlimited by law or ethics. Out of these raucous first years of Russian capitalism emerged a new breed of dominant power broker. One equal parts brash entrepreneur, savvy political chess master and expert exploiter of opportunity and turbulence. Ruthless billionaires who commandeered the commanding heights of the Russian economy in a dizzying period of history that forever transformed the nation's destiny. They came to embody both the dizzying promise and endemic inequality of unfettered Russian capitalism. This fascinating ecosystem of wealth, loyalty, rivalry, and recklessness at the nexus of business, politics, and global intrigue. Welcome to the perilous arena navigated by some of our generation's most compelling figures, the Russian oligarchs. The implosion of the Soviet Union in 1991 positioned Russia at a pivotal junction fraught with national soul-searching and economic uncertainty. From this turbulence emerged a powerful clique of kingmakers and dealmakers who would commandeer the country's transition and set the course of history, the oligarchs, the origins of an empire.
Every day, refugees gather outside government buildings pleading for homes and food. Their demands are basic: for food, for medicine, for a place to die.
As the 1990s dawned, Russia uneasily embarked on a monumental economic transformation, dismantling its intensely state-controlled economy in favor of free market capitalism. This period of reforms centered on privatization intended to overhaul debt-crippled state enterprises and catalyze private sector growth. However, lack of robust regulatory guardrails created an exploitable void which a cluster of strategically connected opportunists capitalized on. Fortified with wealth, ambition, and most crucially, proximity to political power, these architects of the new era consolidated domination over entire sectors, becoming known as the oligarchs. The landscape was a kaleidoscope of rapid industrial transitions. Amidst the frenzy, oligarchs aggressively maneuvered, acquiring stakes in commodities and sectors integral to Russian stability, poised for meteoric growth. Energy, natural resources, mass media, and telecommunications became their fiefdoms as they grew staggeringly rich. But more crucially, their control over the nerve centers of the economy also cemented unrivaled political influence. Behind the scenes, financial wizardry, including labyrinthine offshore shelters and ingenious ownership structures, concentrated gains within their inner circles, expanding empires and enabling them to tighten their power grip. Privatization was in theory structured to give ordinary Russians a shot at participating in capitalist dreams. However, money was scarce and uncertainty endemic, leaving few citizens capable of buying into the fire sale of state assets. On the other hand, a select cabal, mainly ex-KGB and those within Gorbachev's inner sanctum, boasted the finances and connections to consummate privatization's most lucrative deals. Loans for shares, for instance, enabled them to collateralize ridiculously discounted acquisitions of oil, gas, and metal empires for mere millions, assets worth billions. Voucher auctions saw state gems go for literal breadcrumbs to those plugged into the nascent corridors of power. It became rapidly apparent that more than just financial brawn, the oligarchs recognized the unmatched significance of cultivating an ecosystem of elite patronage, navigating webs connecting Russia's past, present, and future power elite. These alliances were the indispensable currency that charged their ascent. By collaborating with influential officials across Boris Yeltsin's cabinet, the oligarchs defined the contours of the new economy, swaying pivotal reforms and policies expedient to their acquisitive priorities. Lucrative partnerships and contracts were inextricably sealed as the empires expanded. In this turbulent era, state authority had grown feeble, while the ecosystem of incentives and shared vision that buttressed the oligarchs only compounded their power. The epicenter of power, At the sulfuric epicenter of the oligarchs' indispensability to the Russian state lay the nation's vast energy reserves, its black gold. As key architects of oil and natural gas privatization deals that would alter Russia's destiny, figures like Khodorkovsky, Berezovsky, and Abramovich, among others, acquired invaluable assets. Their newfound control over behemoth energy corporations amplified personal fortunes exponentially, whilst also cementing unmatched political influence. While conflict between the oligarchs' maximalist ambitions and Russia's rocky transition was perhaps inevitable, 1999 marked a pivotal turn with upheaval on the horizon. For Boris Yeltsin, the challenges of balancing unwieldy oligarchic influence and faltering public confidence coalesced around anointing a successor capable of bringing stability to Russia. His choice was Vladimir Putin, an enigmatic figure promising to rebuild state power and bring the oligarchs to heel. Almost all of Russia's business elite lined up behind Putin's electoral bid, oblivious of the drastic recalibration that was to unfold. Putin and the oligarchs. Putin's arrival marked not just a change of guard, but a pivotal power struggle, setting the stage for years of confrontation between ascendant state authority and the formidable oligarchs. Acutely aware of the scale of concentrated wealth and influence privatization had enabled among the elite enclave of billionaires, Putin embarked on a mission to systematically re-establish state dominance over key economic levers. What ensued was emblematic of a tussle for supremacy between two centers of power. The oligarchs sought to leverage their newfound economic gravitas and extensive political connections to shield their acquisitions. Putin wielded fundamentally different weapons: control of legal levers, security apparatus, and decisive public opinion. In this high-stakes battle, the state relentlessly sought to constrict oligarchic reach. Anti-corruption probes, tax violations, and a battery of lawsuits threatened the very economic empires they had sacrificed so much for. Khodorkovsky's Yukos oil giant was dismantled and appropriated after probes found irregularities in privatization auctions and tax payments. Media magnates like Vladimir Guzinsky and Berezovsky found their empires targeted by regulators and prosecutors, accused of money laundering, corruption, and even murder. Though initially confident in their ability to harness connections and public influence to fight back, the message soon became clear: Putin would not tolerate dissent, and crossing him would mean war. As oligarchic wings were persistently clipped throughout Putin's first term, growing cracks emerged in their once impenetrable brotherhood of wealth and power. Realizing their proximity to authority was receding, frantic repositioning took hold. Some, like Abramovich and Prokhorov, sought neutrality or cooperation with Kremlin ambitions, exiting sectors deemed strategic while maintaining partnership potential. Others, like Berezovsky and Guzinsky, doubled down on resistance, forging risky alliances with opponents of Putin's consolidation of control and even funding international criticism. For these outliers, the consequences were dire. The meteoric rise of Putin's inner circle during these volatile years also drastically reconfigured power equations. The Siloviki, comprising figures with security, military, and intelligence backgrounds, united Putin's mission. Their unwavering shared loyalty to his authority made them indispensable allies. As oligarchs pondered existential threats and sanctions blocked their escape routes abroad, Putin unleashed his lethal arsenal on another target, Ukraine. Even their most obsequious overtures have proven futile in tempering his assaults. One conclusion is unavoidable: the oligarchs may still be rich, but their era of Russian dominance is over.